Hello students, good evening. This is the video on demand because some of the students were asking about stative verbs, which is very important. So here I am talking about stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that express a state of being, a feeling, or a perception. I'm repeating, listen carefully. Stative verbs are verbs that express a state of being, a feeling, or a perception rather than a physical action or activity. Remember, there is no physical action, and without physical action, uh, without physical action, we can say that verb which shows the state of being or a feeling or a perception is called stative verb because they describe fixed unchanging conditions. Fixed unchanging conditions are called stative verbs. They are almost never used in continuous tense. Important thing. This is the most important part. Here I can't use pen because in this app pen is not given. But I'm telling you, you underline this line, that is, they are almost never used in continuous tense. Stative verbs. Repeating, they are almost never used in continuous tenses. Very important. So here are the primary categories of stative verbs, complete with common examples. Number 1. First category, thoughts and opinions. These verbs express mental states and beliefs. Example, agree shows mental status, right? Mental states or beliefs. Believe, doubt, know, realize, suppose, understand. So we should avoid speaking I am knowing the answer. Instead, we should say I know the answer, as we have discussed that the stative verbs are almost never used in continuous tense. That is why this is the thought, right? Thoughts and opinions. So that is a state of being or a feeling or perception. So these are the thoughts. Thought should not be, and for thoughts and opinions we use what verbs? Agree, believe, doubt, know, realize, suppose, understand should not be used in continuous tense, right? So correct is I know the answer. Now next, feelings and emotions. Verbs which are used to show feelings or emotions are called stative verbs. So these verbs describe internal emotional states. Internal emotional states, no action. Example, dislike, hate, like, love, prefer, want, wish. These are the verbs which are called stative verbs, and these verbs are used to show feelings and emotions. So don't use she is loving this song. No, she loves this song. She loves this song, right? So that is second category. Now third category, senses and perceptions. These verbs relate to involuntary sensory experiences. So example, involuntary and voluntary sensory experience. So that is senses and perception: appear, hear, look, seem, smell, taste and see. So that is senses. 5 senses we have, right? Ear. So for ear we hear, right? And for eyes we look, and for nose we smell, for tongue we taste, For eyes, look and see, you know that the difference between look and see, right? Intention or unintention. And appear. So these are the verbs are come under the category of senses and perceptions. Should not be used in continuous tense. So don't say the soup is tasting delicious. No, the soup is delicious, tastes delicious. The soup tastes delicious. Then last category is possession and relationships. So these verbs indicate ownership, possession of course, and connections, possessions and connections, right? So what are the examples of verbs which are used for possession and relationships? Belong, consist, contain, have, own, possess, and weigh. These are also I am having a new car. Very common mistake. We all do. But please avoid this mistake. I am having a new car is wrong. I have a new car because that is the stative verb of possession. I have a new car. Right? So please speak I have a new car. Now, what is important? Dual use rule, which is asked for spotting the errors. So some verbs can act as stative verbs in one context and dynamic action verbs in another. Means these very verbs sometimes acts as a stative verb. At the same time, in another situation, same verb is used for action. So this is dynamic. The meaning changes. Meaning changes entirely depending on how you use them. Example, have, for example. So stative, possession, or have action. How? I have 3 dogs, that is possession. And I am having lunch right now means action because you are taking lunch, you are eating, right? So that is having. Difference, understand the difference, right? I am having and I have. So have is possession, and when you say I am having or eating, that is action. Similarly, think. So stative, when it acts as in stative, then opinion. I think it is a great idea, but wait, be quiet. I am thinking, right? So I am thinking for the same incident. That is also action. So think and then thinking. When action is shown, then we use in continuous tense. But when that is stative, just opinion, so the same word will be used as stative verb. So this is the difference. So this is a small video I have made because of demand. So please remember, I'm repeating, stative verbs are a state of being, a feeling, or a perception rather than physical action. And stative verbs are broadly categorized into 4: thoughts, opinions, number 2, feelings and emotions, number 3, senses and perception, number 4, possession and relationships, and then first is thoughts and opinion. Thoughts and opinions, these are the verbs: agree, believe, doubt, right, etc. Similarly, feelings, so that hate, like, dislike, love, prefer, want, wish. Then senses and perception, right? So that is then 5 senses, right? Verbs which are used for senses and perception, and possession and relationships, right? So here I'm winding up, and yeah, one more thing: double use when action is shown. So that same verb can be used in continuous tense. Without action, it is a stative verb, should not be used in continuous tense, right? So this is the conclusion. So thank you so much and God bless you. You can write me for any kind of discussion. I'm always ready to make videos on it, that on grammar portion, spotting errors, vocabulary, public speaking, interviews, and literature part, English literature, right? Any topic. So if you wish, if you write to me, I would be very happy. And your suggestions and feedbacks are always most welcome. So please write to me. However, I know that this is just speaking, reading and speaking, but I think you must have got something. This is reading together video, we can say. But yes, it was on demand, so I have made and I am ready to explain it on the board. So let me give some chance, because I have to see the timings, and then I'll make video on like live class, right? So thank you so much. God bless you.